Dammian Lillard just 7 of 29 in his last two games. Game 7 against Denver, now Game 1 against the Warriors. Here he is in Oakland.
John Dickinson, 95-7 the game. Dammian, what were the Warriors doing defensively tonight to make things difficult for you and your teammates?
I think they gave a lot of attention to the ball when I was coming off screens. Even when I was in isolation situations, I was seeing 2 and 3 people. So, I think that was obvious, that they were trying to make things hard for me just by making me see bodies and sending 2 guys at me sometimes. So sometimes I couldn't even get an attempt up, even if I was trying to force it. But they did a good job tonight defensively. And, even when I was trying to find guys, they were getting deflections just because it was a crowd. They were making me play in the crowd. So I thought they were successful at that in this first game.
Dammian, Janie McCauley from AP. What can you guys do? Adjustment can you make to maybe get, a hand in Steph's face a little more, make it a little more difficult for him to get that shot off?
Yeah, that was very poor execution, defensively on our part. Just having our bigs back that far, understanding, the team that we playing against, they're not going to shoot mid-range jumpers and try to attack the rim. If they see an opportunity to shoot a 3, they're going to take it. And they shoot it at a high clip. So we got to bring our guys up and run them off the line. And tonight we were, they were setting solid screens and they coming off, shooting practice shots. And, that's the last thing we need if we want to have any chance to, to beat this team.
Dammian, Bruce McGowan with KCBS. I know this is you're at the highest level, but you're coming off a very emotionally, gut-wrenching win over Denver. How tough is it to kind of summon up all that energy and all that enthusiasm again just 2 nights later when they've had a little extra time?
Obviously it's a little bit difficult physically, and a little bit emotionally just because I'm excited about being in the Western Conference Finals. You just, win 7 games, got 1 on the road, and, you're excited about that. And then you got to come straight here, right from Denver, and start prep and get ready for the best team in the league right now. And it's tough, but, once we lace our shoes up and put our uniforms on, it's fair and square. You got to go out there and handle your business. And I thought our minds was right. We came in the game ready, but they're a team that, they go on runs. They make shots, and the game can get away from you. So tonight, we had too many moments where, we had slip-ups defensively, 20 turnovers that led to, over 30 points. And you can't allow that. If you allow that against this team, especially on the road, you're going to have a slim chance to win. So I think it was more about that than the series that we played previously.
Tony Harvey, Sacramento Observer. Well, it's only one game, though, Dammian. So
Absolutely.
What do you guys got to do, to prep for the next 48 hours to put in a better performance?
I think we gotta, go look at it. I haven't watched the game. Obviously it's fresh, so I remember a lot of things after the game that I could come off the top of the head, but you forget a lot of things as well, And once we go back and look at it, see what we could do better offensively to take advantage of the way they're covering what we like to do, our pick and rolls. Our actions out the corner, our pin downs, just see how we can be more effective, in the things that we do based on, what they showed us tonight. But I think the main thing we'll talk about is the adjustments we need to make defensively, guarding them coming off all those screens and taking care of the ball, stuff like that. Like I said, if you turn the ball over as much as I did, with how much I had a ball in my hands, not valuing it enough, it's going to hurt you. So I think we'll be addressing a lot of things on both ends.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. Dan, you mentioned the challenge physically of turning around that quickly from a Game 7. How are you feeling physically, and specifically it looked like you were grabbing your hammy a little bit. Is there any issue there?
Physically, I feel pretty good. I think this year, more than any other year, physically, I feel strong. I feel healthy. I've been training nonstop in the weight room and on the court, just keeping my body strong, and I feel as good as I've felt to this point. In my career, and just my hamstring, I just got kneed in it. It wasn't like I came up on it or nothing. I got kneed in it, so it felt like it bruised a little bit. So, that was it.
Dammian, Paul Antunes, ESPN Brazil. Dammian, can you speak to the emotions that you feel in this series, coming back home to Oakland, conference finals? Is it something special to be able to play here in your home city? Is it a distraction? Can you speak to that, please?
I think the situation is special. Obviously growing up in Oakland, growing up a Warriors fan, and this being the last year of them playing in Oakland, all of those things I think is special for those reasons. But for me, it's not my first time playing against this team. It's not my first time playing here, so I wouldn't say it's a distraction. I think it's a bigger deal to everybody else than it is to me. Everybody else wants to talk about it and make a big deal out of it, but I'm just here to play basketball. I see and talk to my family all the time, so it's not like I haven't seen them since I've been in the NBA. We just trying to win a series, and all the extra stuff that's coming from everybody else, not me.
Dan, kind of on that, Nick Ruppy from Fox 12 in Oregon. It's almost like a family reunion every time you come here, man. But even just talking to your brother Houston, man, I mean, it's a good reason to come back together, to be back here, a place you guys are obviously so familiar with in this arena that's going to be closing down. Yeah,
that's like I said, that's part of what makes it special. I'm from here, and I think just me being so close to here, I can walk home from here if I wanted to. So that tells you how close it is, and just growing up around so many of these people, the Warriors weren't always the Warriors that they are today, and a lot of the people I grew up with, a lot of my friends, they're fans of this team. So when I come back, it's a little bit of, it causes problems, and especially you see the faces in the crowd. This is the only place where because I don't pay attention to the crowd, but in the game I'm running down the court, and I just look one way, and I'm recognizing people left and right that I know, that I recognize the face, that they probably got my phone number. So it's kind of weird, but I mean, I think that speaks to how special it is, to be home and be able to play in front of all these people.
The hometowner, Dammian Lillard there. Another tough shooting night for him, as Portland as a team shoots just 36% on the night and loses by 22. Back we go. Draymond Green went for 12, 10, and 5 tonight in the Warrior win.
All right, who's first? Raise your hand, name and affiliation, please. Second row here, middle.
Draymond, Janie McCauley from AP. How were you guys able to come out defensively and kind of keep those guys in check and not let them get on a roll?
Obviously they are the focal point of our defensive game plan. And I think we did a really good job of sticking to that game plan. You can play that same defense and they can really get it going. So we got to make sure we're locked in on the details moving forward, and understanding that, Dame isn't going to have the game he had the rest of the series, and neither is CJ. But we got to do whatever we can as a team to try to continue to force them to have those type of games. But overall, I thought our defense was really locked in. We had a few mistakes that we can kind of fix. And also, I think we can rebound the ball a little bit better. But you're going to give up some of that when you're playing them the way we're playing them, but we can still clean it up and add
Second
a
row,
little more
right-hand side.
attention to that.
Second row, right-hand side.
Anthony Sutter with The Athletic. Steph didn't hit more than 4 threes in any of the Rockets games. He hits 9 tonight. How much of that do you think was the way they defended him? I mean, their bigs were obviously way back.
That's when you're guarding like that, obviously, you're going to get cleaner looks. The Rockets were switching everything, so Steph got downhill quite a bit. But it's good to have Steph have a game like that, in a time that obviously we need it most. It was really big for us, and I expect him to continue to play that way.
Second row, left-hand side.
Hi, Draymond, Mindy Bach, ABC 7 Sports. We saw the bench come up big in Game 6 against Houston. Steve said this series really bodes well to play a lot more reserves. But how did you see that game kind of bleed over into this one? Because you got big games from Jordan Bell, Jonas Jerebko tonight as well.
I think, Steve told us, a couple days ago or yesterday, everybody be ready because this is a series that everyone could possibly play in. And, those guys, we've said it over and over again, they're professionals. They stay locked in. Every day I've walked into the gym Jonas is in there shooting, waiting for his opportunity. And he's played big for us these last 2 games, and we'll need him to continue doing that moving forward. But it was great effort by everybody who came off the bench. JB was huge. Jonas, like I said, was huge. Quinn gave us great minutes. Sean gave us great minutes. So everybody who stepped out there was ready to go. And, the series is going to get tougher and tougher. Contrary to what probably every headline will say tomorrow, we know how tough it'll be. So we need those guys to stay locked in and continue to give us what they've been giving us these last 2 games. I also think that Game 6 helped confidence-wise as well. You're talking, guys who hadn't really played the entire playoffs. So to have that Game 6 that they had against Houston, I think it boded well for us tonight.
Third row, right-hand side.
Draymond, Nick Friedel, ESPN. You guys know as well as anybody it doesn't take much to get Steph rolling. But you just mentioned Game 6. How much of what happened in the second half for him you think carried over into the way he produced tonight?
I think it had a huge impact. Just as a player, you want to keep that rolling. You try to feed off the momentum for the last game and carry it over. And he came out from the gate aggressive. And also understanding that Kevin is out and our offense is going to be even. He's going to be even more important in our offense. And he came out with that mindset, and, he got it rolling from the gate.
Third row here, left-hand side.
Tony Harvey, Sacramento Observer. Draymond, Dammian's from Oakland. And, of course, he loved his city and, probably spent a lot of time, watching games here when he was younger. What type of player is he to you, in your mind, playing in the NBA?
He's a great player. One of the best guards we got in this league. He carries a chip on his shoulder and is boded really well for him, throughout his career. He's been able to accomplish some things that great players aren't able to accomplish their entire career in, 15-year career. So, obviously a special talent. I know he's excited to be back home, playing in, this series with, this being the last year Oracle. Sure, Dame grew up not too far away from this arena, so it's a special thing for him. But that don't mean nothing to us. We got to come out and try to stop him, which is a tall task. So we got to keep our same mindset. We're not really focused on the stories, that builds this thing up. That has nothing to do with us. It's all about what we do out there on the floor.
Third row, left-hand side.
Draymond, Paul Antunes, ESPN Brazil. Can you speak to the focus of the team these last 2 games? You always, you never want to see, a great player go down like Kevin, but it seems like you're stepping up more. Clay, Steph, you guys are really embracing the challenge.
It makes everything tougher for sure. When you lose a guy like Kevin, he's so important to everything we do on both sides of the ball. But we also know that one guy isn't going to step in and make up for what Kevin brings to this team. And so it's on everybody to step their game up a couple notches. And I think, for the last 2 games, we've done that. We also understand, like I said before, as the series goes on, it gets tougher and tougher. So that's just got to be our mindset and our understanding moving forward. But we also will need guys to continue to step up as long as Kevin's out. And then also when he come back, continue to play with that same aggressiveness.
Second row, left-hand side.
Hi, Draymond, Mindy once again. To see Dammian Jones make his first playoff appearance, is that something that kind of sparks the team? Obviously, you're in the throes of it, but just seeing what he's been through, can that add something?
Yeah, it's great. I also, as we said earlier in the year, Dammian adds something to this team that we don't have, which is a lob threat. When you have a lob threat like Dammian, what he does for your floor spacing is very similar to what putting a shooter on the perimeter would do for your floor spacing. So, it's good to see him get back out there. We've seen him all year since that Detroit game in the weight room rehabbing, or for this entire season. To see him get out there, and get an opportunity to play tonight was key. And I wouldn't be shocked if in sometime in this series he's thrown out there for some real minutes. Because like I said, he adds something that we don't have. And so I'm happy for him to see. And it was kind of caught me by surprise. I saw him in the layup line. Like, oh, he looked at me like, yeah. So, it's good to have him back out there.
Last one, third row, center.
C.J. Peterson, San Francisco Examiner.
Draymond, you and Jordan Bell kind of shared a moment at midcourt. I believe it was in the third quarter. You guys had a little chuckle. What was that moment about? What did you guys say to each other? And two, what do you think of Jordan's ability to kind of bounce back from maybe a turbulent season this year and kind of step back into the rotation as of late?
Once again, true professional. He's a young guy. You usually don't expect that from young guys. Young guys tend to